The main reason I wanted to do a review for the scan tool was for the AI. That stands for artificial
insemination. Well, hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Automotive Insight. Today we're going to be taking a look at another scan tool. This is the Mucar 892 Bluetooth. It is a tablet that offers a wireless connection to the DLC, and it has a couple of interesting features in it. So it'll do 34 maintenance and special functions. It'll do bidirectional controls, full system scans. It is Chrysler FCA compliant, active tests, graphing. It'll do a little bit of everything. It will do some coding as well.
So one of the reasons why I wanted to do a review on this scan tool was because of the AI function. The scan tool itself is able to expand to like oscilloscope, battery test, video scope, and I think there's a printer function, which is kind of the normal, for these middle grade scan tools. But I wanted to do the AI and see what kind of information it can give and how helpful it can be.
We've talked about some of the claims that it makes, so let's do what we do, put some of those to the test, and let you know what we think about it.
Okay, one of the first things we're going to show is do a system scan. We're going to connect to the car first. So it gives you two options. It gives you a smart scan and a system scan. We'll go through both of them. I think smart scan because it will list basically all the modules that Honda has available, and smart scan will eliminate those, and eliminate which ones aren't available on the vehicle. Okay, so it's finished doing the system scan, and it'll pull up any codes and what modules are available. This one has a few codes in there, and this also, from the screen, it gives you access to the AI and the Google search. So we'll do a report first, and you can punch in, you can do pre and post scan from this screen. You can do all the shop information, and then it gives you a nice report from there. You can also share it, PDF, and
you compare your pre and post with that.
Okay. And then also in your report, it gives you an AI analysis of all this, which basically it goes through all the codes that it has listed and gives you the descriptions and some repair information from that. And from the report, it only pulled up, I think, just the tire. There's the ABS. There's the air mix issue. And it gives you a bunch of AI information, breaks it down into a nice report. All right, so we went ahead and did the other system scan, and basically this just brings up all the modules. It doesn't give you any DTCs until you go into the module itself. So we went to the ABS unit, and then we went back to the list of control modules, and then it brought the DTCs with it and allows the AI and Google search functions. So basically, the smart scan just saves you the steps of going into every module And if you just eventually select every one, it just looks exactly like the Smart Scan to begin with. So common functions is where you get a lot of your resets and initializations from. And we will do one system function. We'll just do the oil service light reset. I have changed the oil on it. So we'll go to manual reset. Okay, so all this is just telling us how to do it, because you can manually do it with the car without the scan tool. Okay, so we'll go into the software reset service, because the manual reset service is doing that with the vehicle and the buttons. It doesn't allow you to do it by the scan tool, so we'll try the software reset service. We're in USA. I'm going to do the oil life and ATF, because I did do the transmission service. Maintenance main item has completed. Is no longer flashing. So that does work. Okay. So we're going to go into the data stream now, and we're going to show examples of the graphing capabilities. On this one, it doesn't automatically give you all of them, but you can select all and select OK, and then it brings up your information. While we're here, this is a fantastic feature of being able to change the PID values. And also you can change the measurement values right on the fly here. And then you can do the metric also with the different values there. That is fantastic. We have complained about that with multiple other scan tools. That is great.
Another thing that's nice is the standard range that they give you, which is fairly accurate.
So from here, we'll get into the graphing. I know we have all the PIDs up, but if you just hit graph, it brings up the first 12. Now, this isn't very quick because you're graphing 12 items. And from the screen, you can combine up to 4 of them. And it gives you which ones are available. And then also you can change them. You'd have to deselect one of them. And you can go through the list. Now the list is of the only ones that you have selected. Now we have all of them, and they grayed out ones you can't select. But we'll go back in because you can graph all of these if you wanted to. You just have to go back and do it from the other screen. We're going to go back to the main selection screen. We'll unselect all of them. And we'll do the common one, the engine speed and mass airflow. And we'll do the map sensor too. Okay. Now I did find that I had to go back in and remove from the search bar. That way it included my engine speed and my other 3 I've selected, because if you don't, it will only bring up the mass airflow, the ones that were on the screen at the time. And so you can go to graph, brings up the 4, you can combine them, and the graph function, it works well as far as the speed for graphing 4 of them also. And you can swipe left or right to get back to the other screens. You could also go up to the individual one, and you can graph a single one graph the single PID itself. It also has a zoom function. And can we do that way too? Yeah. Okay, next we'll give an example of the bidirectional controls. We'll just do something simple like the windows. We'll go into the body control module. Okay, we'll go up with it. So, as I mentioned in the beginning, there's not a whole lot of functions that you can add to this, but it does have a gadget section. You can select up here in the corner, scroll down to the bottom where it says gadgets. You got your Chrome, you got your pictures, Gmail, and YouTube, where you can watch us and repair your cars at the same time. And more importantly, it's got Candy Crush that you can download. I mean, doing Candy Crush and working on cars, works well together.
That's how you flat rate things.
Yeah. And then there's a few others, and haven't messed around with it more to see what you can install on here, but I'm guessing you can do other games because it's got that on there. Okay, next we'll go over the add-ons. There's a couple ways to get to it. You can go to more, and that gives you to the module. We'll enter it. And the TPMS video scope, oscilloscope, you can do a printer, and the battery test. These are all additional add-ons that you have to purchase, and which you can do it from the scan tool, or you're not buying from the scan tool, but you can add to it to make this more useful. You could also go over here, go down to module, and brings up the same screen. Now this has, on the main screen, it also has access to the AI function here. And select that and we'll enter that. And this is where you can, it's just like every other AI, you ask it questions and it'll give you the response. We'll go over some that I've done already. This is the one I asked for, an alternator on an accurate MDX. Gave a 1.5 to 2.5 hours. We verified this. It lists as 1.3, and we've done a couple others, and this kind of gives you a range. There was one other that was kind of way off. It was for a Nissan Rogue for the valve cover assembly. It says 1.5 to 3 hours for the Nissan Rogue, and actual labor time was
3.5.
3.5. So you gotta be careful using it for that function because seems like it could shortchange you or also overcharge. So, and plus it gives you ranges, so it's not saying exactly what your labor time is. I did ask for the oil capacity on a Prius, and that was correct, 3.9 quarts. And even asked for instructions on some of the repairs, and just kind of basic detail of disconnect the battery, remove the belt, and then remove the alternator, stuff like that. It's not very in-depth. That's why you have our videos. Okay, so this has like a social media app. It's called $Fix Community. So in the $Fix Community social media thing, it's just there's different automotive topics by repair stories, car stories. I don't particularly find this very useful as sort of the professional mechanic side of it, but if you sort of have the time to scroll through, there probably is some good information. I just don't as the mechanic side of it, just don't have that kind of time to go through. Yes, you can search for it, but it's like I said, it's not very useful. It does say it's FCA compliant. To get access to that, you do need to purchase the subscription and stuff for it. But you can go to the settings, go under user, and that brings up where you are able to access all the FCA stuff and a couple of the others that you need to pay more money so you can work on their stuff.
All right, so now let's get on to some pros and cons. The major pro that this tool has is this is probably the most capable tool that also comes with free lifetime software updates. And that is a huge pro. Software is not cheap. So this thing is pretty close to the equivalent of like our gear wrench tool, and that tool costs, You get 3 free years, and then afterwards, the cost of the subscription is like $350 per year.
And currently, at the time of filming, from when we bought it, it was $500. It is currently $700 on the Bluetooth, the gear wrench one.
For the cost of the tool.
For the cost of the tool.
Not the software.
And then this one has, at the time of filming, cost, you can get it for about $509.
So that's a big pro. If it's something that you are just your kind of DIY type person, like working on your own stuff, work on multiple of your friends' cars or whatever, software gets very expensive. Another pro that I like about it is, we had touched on it when we were in the car, is the ability to toggle back and forth between the units right there on the data PID screen. I like being able to do that, and you can even adjust it further when you're in the data column. You can click on it and do from like volts to millivolts, or like pressure is a big one. People use all kind of different pressures: PSI, millimeters of mercury, bar, pascals, kilopascals. You can change all that stuff right there on the fly.
That's about the best one I've seen out of all the reviews we've done, as far as being able to change the measurements.
Another feature that I like is that so I'm colorblind, and I have a hard time when you graph things and merge them all onto one screen. For me, it's like looking at light gray, dark gray, aqua, and light blue. Like, they all kind of look the same to me. So I like having individual graphs, and I like being able to graph up to 12 on individual graphs. So I like that feature as well as your ability to manipulate the time scale and the y-axis as well. That is nice to have available to you as well.
Pro, I guess it might be my opinion of it, but I thought the scan tool worked well. I thought the functionality, for some of the newer stuff, it was quick. A little bit of the older, which is kind of common for kind of any scan tool, was a little slow, but I thought the functionality in getting through it was good.
So yeah, to add on to what he had said about, he likes the way that it works. It does seem to be pretty quick. The car that we were using it on, Hondas are notoriously slow doing like health reports on it, doing all system scan stuff. But as far as, just toggling into different screens and stuff, it is pretty quick in those regards. Another small thing that is nice is that it's wireless, which is nice. You can, be checking something in the trunk with sitting in the passenger seat. You don't have to have, be tethered to the DLC. And it is nice that you can just magnetically stick it back on the back of the tool.
It's kind of an in-between, not a pro or con. The battery life is okay. Doesn't seem super great. Doesn't seem super short. Just seems kind of the middle. I mean, I figure if you was doing a bunch of research on there, maybe YouTube videos, probably could drain it down a little bit quicker. But
Candy Crush.
Yeah, that too, Candy Crush. But for what we've used it for the review and what I was looking at, it probably used about 25% of the battery life.
So now let's get into the cons section. The AI, it's okay. I wouldn't go so far as to say it's a con, but it ain't all data. It ain't Mitchell. It's hit or miss on what it can do. Sometimes it's pretty accurate, and then sometimes it's basically no better than what you would get out of a Google search.
And my thoughts and theory on that are probably because a lot of this stuff is licensed, and the AI it pretty much has what it can have access to because it's giving you free information. So if like an in-depth repair procedure, a wiring diagram, it can be licensed information, and they don't have access to that. So I can imagine that could be a capability that holds it back from being able to give you all that.
Exactly. He basically had hit on what I was kind of getting at.
Sorry.
There's a saying in like the computer world: garbage in, garbage out. Literally, the second video we ever made on this channel was us making fun of forums because of how much time wasting and Dunning-Kruger effect of people that have no business giving you their advice on cars being the first people to give you the advice on their cars. Well, the AI has got to sift through all that crap and try to figure out what the best thing is. So to say it's a con, I think we're in AI's infancy at this point. It can be pretty good. It's hit or miss. Sometimes it's pretty good. Sometimes it's so-so.
The one con is I haven't found it. I've been looking for it, is if there's any kind of screen sensitivity adjustment. I haven't found it. So I've looked through all the settings and stuff, and this doesn't give you access to like the main unit like we had talked about earlier. The software just pulls up straight to the diagnostic part. So I haven't found any kind of, and it wasn't terrible. It's just a few times I think I have defective fingers. So it just didn't work super. There was just a handful of times that you had to double tap on things. My last con, and this isn't a knock on the company, is this isn't their product, their software. This is ThinkCar. So what are the potential chances if you have an issue, like we had asked, what other products can you use with this? We haven't gotten a response back. I mean, that's not saying that they don't. It's just we haven't. What kind of service is available if you have an issue for this? Because it is not their software. They do have a feedback function in it, like most electronic products do. But again, this isn't.
Yeah, so basically the company reached out to us, asked us if we wanted to do this. We accepted it. They reached out again, asked if we had any questions or if we had a chance to use it, what we thought about it so far. So they specifically asked if we had questions, and I said, yeah, what are some of the add-ons that work with this? Because if you look for Mucar oscilloscope, you're not going to find it. I'm assuming that it's ThinkTool, but they never answer back.
And that brings us to final thoughts. At first I didn't want to like it, but it grew on me, and I thought it's a good scan tool. Again, we have our worries, but I thought it worked well for what it is.
I mean, yeah, at one time Alltel was new.
Yeah.
So it could be the next Alltel. So I mean, you don't really know. My final thoughts on it. I like it. I think it's very fast. It's small. I like that it's a USB-C charger on it, so you can just leave this thing on your toolbox for most of the stuff that you need to do and just click away at it because it's wireless. It's fast. It does a little bit of everything, and it does it pretty well. So yeah, I don't have any complaints, and so long as the company stays around, free lifetime updates, I think that's hard to beat. And I think that the AI will just continue to get better. Really, the more actual technicians that work on it, I would have a feeling that the AI stuff, the more people that get stuff, fix it, verify that they get it, the AI will probably get better as that goes as well. Well, all right, guys, that's going to wrap this one up for today. Hopefully we earned a thumbs up from you. Let us know what you think down in the comment section. We have new content for you every single week, so consider subscribing to the channel. And with all that being said, thanks so much for watching. We'll see you on the next one.
I may not have all your answers. Neither does AI. That being said, we'll see you on the next one.
It'll pick you up at 8. You probably won't be awake. Call yourself an Uber, babe.
You gonna set me up for that joke at all or not?
Oh, you want me to do that one? Oh, sorry. I was
You talking about artificial insemination?